Before we begin, Edna, will you please put on a shirt?
Interview or documentary or whatever this is. It's meant to dissect who I am as an individual. Part of my individuality is the fact that I don't want to be belittled. And on top of that, I will not allow you to dictate my physical expression. This entire journey has allowed me to open up intellectually. Therefore, I only find it appropriate that I present myself in the same manner.
Right, anyways, can I get a censor bar over her, please? Before we begin, can you start off by introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about the role you played in this work?
Yeah, sure, no problem. My name is Robert. Some might say I'm Edna's guilty pleasure. I'd like to think of myself as her gateway to freedom. Someone like Adele, though, would probably say that I'm responsible for Edna's emotional corruption.
I tried to deter Edna and Robert. This whole promiscuity thing, I knew it was doomed from the start. I did everything I was supposed to. Everything that happened, all that, that's in their hands. Oh yeah, I'm Adele.
Just put Mr. P on your little subtitle thing. Anyways, my name is Mr. Ponchelier. I am Edna's cuckolded husband.
I like to think that my life has been very substantial, saturated with these sort of universal truths, especially for the time period that I existed. It speaks to women trapped in this impossibly submissive standard.
It's like Doisik says in her essay about Edna. Edna is like a bird. She wants to fly. This fad about clipping birds' wings is exactly what she refuses. Birds belong in cages. At least the domestic ones do.
Wives and mothers are meant to be domestic creatures. This stigma that Edna's fighting for, it's not liberation or freedom. All it is a grown woman neglecting her responsibilities.
Normally I would say Edna's revolutionary behavior is barbaric. But really, it's not that drastic. She's simply acting like a man. It's like Megan Kaplan said in this essay she wrote about Edna, all while not being expected to take on motherly duties. As much as I disapprove of her philosophy, in a lot of ways it is admirable.
Bullshit. The whole thing. It's just bullshit. What is the point of having sexual desires if you can't exploit them? It's like buying a telephone, but then refusing to make calls on it, simply due to the fact that making phone calls costs money. Well, if being money conscious was such a priority, what was the point of buying the phone in the first place? In contrast, I'd say perhaps I'm just too defiant for my own good. But the only beneficial good I've had has been on behalf of my own defiance.
Promiscuity isn't a bad thing. We live in an adult world, you know? Casual sex, in my opinion, is like taking a smoke break. It's brief, it eases tension and nerves, and it satisfies a craving. That's all there is to it. It's not for everyone, you know? Not everyone smokes cigarettes, and that's okay. They don't have to. But just because some don't enjoy it doesn't mean others can't or shouldn't. That 10 minutes of intimacy they spent with the cigarette makes them happy. Therefore, it really shouldn't concern anyone else. Especially if it's behind closed doors.
Edna's entire being is embodied by this intensity. It's very metaphoric, fighting for the emotional, sexual, and social independence of women.
There is still a social barrier between the genders. Speaking in stereotypes, the higher a woman's body count, the more risque or undesirable she is. Yet, at the same time, when it comes to a man's body count, the higher it is, the more he is deemed as more experienced and enticing. This inequality of perception, it is the center of my intellectual development. And I'm hoping that in the future, it's something that society can overcome.